What's up, everybody? It's Rel. You might have seen earlier this season, I did a quarter season review. I did a half season review. And now we've arrived at the end of the regular season. So it's only right that we look back and review the entire season as a whole. And I keep wondering to myself, what can be said about the 2023-2024 Pelicans that hasn't already been said, right? I spend a lot of time online just reading people's opinions about this team, but there were three questions that I wanted to ask a couple of fans last night before the Pelicans ultimately lost to the Los Angeles Lakers in the play-in tournament. I just wanted to ask, how would you grade the season? What is your priority piece moving forward? Is it a point guard or is it a center? Things like that. And then what is your message to the front office? Those are the three things I wanted to know. And I think that at the beginning of the season, right? I think in October, if someone had said, hey, at the end of the season in April, the Pelicans are going to have 49 wins. I think, just speaking for me, I would have been happy with that. But seeing the journey of how they got there, it kills me to know that it could have been better. There's like a specific set of games. I can rattle off 6, 7, or 8 games that we just should have won. And I watched them blow so many leads to lose games. And I just know that it could have been better. But on the same side of that, or on the other side of that, rather, I'm always the first to tell you that things could always be worse too. But, at some point, I don't want to have to keep saying things could always be worse. I want to see the better side of things consistently. And as a fan, that's normal, I feel. There's nothing wrong with that. You enjoy the sport, and you want to see your team win. You don't want to root for losing. And look, 49-33 is not terrible. It just so happens everyone else won 47, 48, 49 games. There's 5 teams that won 50 games in the Western Conference. So there's some improvement that's needed. Otherwise, we get left behind. And that's really all I can sum that up to. There has been improvement every year since Willie Green got here specifically. There's been improvement every year. But we have to keep up with the pack. We gotta pass some guys up. Otherwise, there's going to be guys passing us up, So I interviewed a couple of people, some who I've already known, and there's some who I just spoke to for the first time last night. So thank you to everybody who participated in this. And I hope for all of you that watch this video, I hope that you enjoy it. Watch it all the way through. Leave me a comment or reply. Let me know what you think. And you guys are never shy about that, right? About giving your opinion on what you think about this team. But let me know what you think about the video as well, the way it's put together. Do you like the way, the interviews are split up? And kind of like snaked between each other like that. I appreciate all feedback. I appreciate you guys' support. It's not easy when things get tough. It's not easy to continue doing this and putting these videos together when people are a little bit less interested in the team, when people are upset with the team, or they're upset with the front office or one thing or another, or just the Pelicans' general bad luck with injuries and the timing of injuries, right? It's not easy to continue to do this. So I do appreciate you guys' support. I feel like we're almost to the finish line in terms of the season ending or the postseason ending, whatever have you. So it's been a pretty long year, but nonetheless, we've made it here. And again, I can't thank you guys enough for the support throughout this season. This has kind of been like my rookie year doing a lot of stuff solo. If you watch Pels and Whistles podcast, you know that I do that alone now. And I'm definitely feeling love from you guys. So I really appreciate it again. I'll stop rambling. Enjoy the video. All right, Jim, how's it going today?
Good. How you doing, Brad?
I'm doing pretty good. I just wanted to ask you a couple questions. How you feel about this season so far? What would you grade it if you were like a teacher?
Before Sunday, it's a B, and then here we are tonight. We'll see how tonight goes. If the Pels pull it off tonight, or worst case Friday, this is a playoff team. This team deserves to be in the playoffs. But it just sat with me yesterday that there's a chance the team doesn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah. And 49 wins. Yeah.
And in that case, the season's a failure. No other way to look at it. Yeah. You've had 70 games from Zion. The team's been relatively healthy, but they've won 49 games. That's a good season, but relative to the West, not if you don't get in.
Right.
Well, based on how tough the conference is and the limited injuries we had, I give it about a B. It was a good season.
Okay.
I think Willie did a great job with what he had. It's an improvement from last season. I think we just expected more.
Yeah.
And I think that the rotations was a big frustration for the season.
Yeah.
Not utilizing our starters and not having like most teams have an identity. We still haven't figured out our identity, and it's the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know if we're a pound them down front team or we want to launch 3 team.
Yeah.
And I think that needs to be fixed. But now we're in the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
So when do you fix it?
Right.
I don't know.
Overall, I give it a good B+.
B+. So how are we feeling going into this game? Let's talk about that.
Cautiously optimistic.
Okay, all right. So how do you feel about the season overall? 49-33. We were tied with 6, but we lost the tiebreaker, so we're 7. In the play-in again. How are you feeling about that?
Again, I like the record. Don't love the play-in. And if I had to grade it, I would say that we underachieved slightly.
Okay.
I'd probably give it like a B- for a season.
Okay.
Scale of 1 to 10 or A, B, C, D?
yeah.
All right. I'd probably say C+.
Ooh, okay. That's the lowest one I've gotten so far.
C+. I think the pieces were there. I think at times we kind of lost our way with the rotations and stuff like that. But I think we could have probably had about 55, 56 wins this year, easily. There's a lot of games that we gave away that we were just outright winning, and
Yeah.
it was pretty much done, and we just gave it away. That's the biggest thing. But yeah, I think probably about a C+.
Okay.
Borderline B-, but yeah, C+.
Okay.
B+. I think we've seen continued growth from Willie. 6 win increase every year. That's what you want to see. And hopefully Zion gets his first playoff action tonight. And then we can see some more growth after that.
So what do you think about keeping Zion and Brandon Ingram together moving forward? Are you good with that?
If B.I. could take a few more threes for me.
Okay. And then building around them in the future, do you want a center or do you want a point guard more?
Center.
Okay. So would you continue to build around B.I. and Zion moving forward, or like do you want to? Well, yeah, that'll be my first question. Do you want to build around those two?
Yes.
Okay. Now with keeping those two, do you think they need a point guard or they need a center? What's the priority?
I think the priority is the stretch 5.
Stretch 5. Okay. Okay.
So I'd always scream from the mountaintop, somebody like Miles Turner,
That's the second time someone's brought him up today.
right? Jared Allen, who really isn't a stretch 5, but he can rim protect, he can be in the dunker spot, he can run, he can jump, like all those things. Look, like I tell my friends, there's only one ball. You can't have 5 scorers on the court, right? So there's one ball. Absolutely. Herb's 3-point percentage has gone up dramatically.
Yes.
And that's huge, especially for Zion. Zion working on his little jumper, he's trusting it. I know the last game or two it wasn't going down, but it will.
Yeah.
It will. So once he starts developing that, like a little David West pocket off the glass, like just mid-range type thing, I think it'll be beautiful. That'll keep people from building that wall or sagging into the lane.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Okay, so I think in the offseason they're going to ask Herb to go back to working on his handle a little bit. I think he's going to become your point.
Okay.
Because he doesn't care about scoring, right? Like, he's a tremendous defender, great court vision, and court sense, right? So I think, and he played point at Alabama, right? Like, he was a guard. He was like a point guard. So I think that might be where they lean, and then they might go somewhere else center-wise, although I love JB.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see him go.
Same.
But they're not utilizing him properly. And so I can
Or
see
at
him
all.
Exactly. So I can see him telling them to go shove it, and you know what I'm saying?
Definitely a center, a mobile big. You know personally how I feel about that. But yeah, I'm a Jonas fan, but I also feel that if they're not going to use him correctly, what's the point?
Yeah.
So center is my biggest request.
Okay. So you mentioned not using starters. I'm assuming you're feeling like Jonas Valanciunas should be playing more minutes. Is that right?
I'm an old school guy.
Yeah.
So I think like when you have a big that can cloud the middle, it helps. It helps. It helps you on rebounding. It helps you on defense, and I think that's what's taken away. Larry Nance is great. I love Larry. I love Cody also. But they don't give you that presence that Jonas Valanciunas gives you. So, yeah, I do think we failed in that area.
I mean, when you mentioned 70 games from Zion, are you impressed with him this season? Or, like, what's your take on him and how he's been this year?
Well, we've all seen him be more dominant offensively, but his all-around game has been great. Like, the way he's rebounding better, he's always been good with, dishing the ball out. His shooters are helping him. Like, when CJ and Trey are hot, his assist numbers are always near double digits. So I think his all-around game is as good as I've seen. I know he was dominant last December, but this is as good as I've seen him play.
For sure. So we finished 49-33 in the regular season. Not good enough to get past 7. I mean, we tied with 6, but they had the tiebreaker. But just looking at what we've seen from Zion this year, what we've seen from Brandon Ingram this year, what do you think about the moves they need to make in the offseason? A lot of people talk about a guard. A lot of people talk about a center. What would you prioritize?
To be honest, you're going to have to get rid of one of these guys. Like, you can't build around the team the way it's already constructed. Somebody's got to be the odd man out. It can't be Zion, and it can't be Trey Murphy. It can't be Hurd.
I think I know where you're going with this.
It almost has to be B.I., right? But I don't want that.
Right.
But if B.I. would sign a contract that says he'll put up 7 or 8 threes a game, then this team can move forward this way. But until then, it's hard to say. Like, the offense gets all stagnant when we don't have more than one shooter on the court for Zion.
Well, B.I.'s got one more year in his contract. He can sign an extension now, and he might have for all we know. But are you willing to give it at least till trade deadline next year to see what happens with that?
That's the absolute longest, though. Like, for 3 years, we've been saying, give it one more year, give it one more year. And at what point do we say, we've done that 3 times. That's enough.
So 49 wins only got us tied with the 6th seed, basically, but we lost the tiebreaker. And seeing Zion play 70 games this season and seeing B.I. get past, 64 or so games, what do you think we need to address going into the offseason? Do you think we try to keep Jonas around and sign him again? Or
$1 million question. Because, see, I think people assume that there's another big out there that's waiting in the wings that another team is willing to let go.
Who's available? That's better. That's always the question.
I would love Miles Turner. I would love Claxton. But I also love Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah.
And if you have the big, if you're not going to use them, what's the point? Why bring somebody in if you're not going to wrap the offense or the defense around them? Having an AD here, if you're not going to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you have the tools, you got to learn how to use the tools, not create a system that don't fit the tools you have. That's it.
Yeah. If you had any sort of message for the front office, what would that be?
Keep doing what you're doing, but maybe examine things a little bit better at the deadline. Next year, if things aren't working out exactly right, maybe make a move this time.
Are you of the impression that they're just... I've seen people say they're sitting on their hands anytime we don't make a move. Are you under the impression that they just don't make moves unless they're going to win that trade?
No, I don't think that. I think they tried to make moves, but try a little harder. Sweeten the pot a little bit. Because I think this year, maybe it could have helped us out.
Not gonna lie. But if you weren't gonna make a trade at the deadline, use JV. Like, why is he here then? Like, that's stupid. But yeah, I don't know. I think we have some coaching issues. And I love Willie Green. Like, I don't mean that personally. Like, I just have some issues.
I'm mad. They need to get mad. They need to get mad.
Get mad? Oh yeah, I like that. I like that too. Yeah.
So, did you hear that Willie Green's contract was quietly extended?
I did.
I think he's
quietly not so excited about it. I think he's improving. I mean, I see that the team has improved, but it seems like they don't make adjustments. They're doing the same shit and expecting a different result, and that's not good.
Keep doing what you're doing. I know there was some mixed feelings about extending Willie. I think it's amazing. I mean, if you look at what he's done with the team, his wins have grown every year. Considering what? I mean, B.I., Zion, and CJ have played in 12 games leading up to this season together. So, I mean, this team still, yes, they're young age-wise. You do have Jonas and CJ, which bring that age, and Cody. You bring the age of the team up. But when you look at the other pieces, we're really young. Keep doing what you're doing. We don't need draft picks, though. Like, we need to offload those draft picks. We need to go after someone. We've got shooters. We've got Trey, Herb, CJ. I mean, you name it. Right, Hawkins. Right, he just needs to work on his defense. Next year, hopefully all season he works with Herb. But outside of that, just offload those draft picks, put it to someone who can come in and impact us to where we can get to 55, 60 wins,
You see, that's what I don't know. I mean, I'm not a scout or executive. I think, we just, that's that one position where we just seem to struggle at. It's been a problem in Willie's rotation, and they just need to find an answer, whatever the answer is.
So if you had a message for the front office moving forward, what would it be?
Improve the fan experience at the arena.
Ooh, okay. I mean, the front office, they don't really deal with that, but as far as the fan experience goes, what would you like to see them improve on?
Communication with the staff. You come to events, you'll have two people tell you two different things. And also we have so much good food, so many other things we can highlight. If we want to see those attendance numbers increase, I think we got to draw the fans in a little bit more.
Got to put a winner on the court too, right?
I think we got a winner.
I love it. I love the confidence. Thank you. We've seen them blow many, double-digit leads and things like that. I don't know if you heard, but apparently Willie Green got his contract extended some time ago. What's your feelings on that?
Just like the big situation, there's not a lot of coaches that want to come to New Orleans.
Who's available, that's better.
I love Monty when we let him go. Still love Monty, even though what he's going through to Detroit. Just like Detroit, though, we have to weather that and grow with Willie.
Yeah.
Willie has to just learn how to get better at coaching. And hopefully, we can keep our superstars while he grows. But just giving up on him and starting all over again, we've been down that road.
Yeah.
Do we want to go down that road again? No.
No, you don't want these guys to have that many different coaches in a short time span like that. And we've seen improvement from him every single season.
Yeah.
If you had any sort of message to send to the front office, what would that be?
Honestly, I love where we're at.
Yeah.
I love the players. I love the character. I love the personalities we have. I even love the staff. They're very friendly. I would say bring in a point guard.
Okay.
A true point guard. It may cost us a player we love, but I think getting Zion off the ball, having Brandon set up in certain spots would benefit them better, especially if you don't want to play Jonas Valanciunas. That's what I would say.
If you had any message for the front office, what would it be?
You got me on that one. Oh, you got me. I don't have a message for the front office.
Any message for the coaching staff?
Yeah, JV needs to play more minutes. If Larry's going to cripple you offensively and defensively, at least let Jonas be a factor offensively. We're never going to get AD or Rui in any foul trouble if Jonas is playing 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Larry, it's not helping on either side. So I would rather suffer on defense for Jonas to give me an advantage on offense, whereas Larry gives me no advantage.
All right, I think that's it.